All right, let's talk about one of the most common and honestly one of the most frustrating problems you can run into at the gym. That sharp, nagging shoulder pain every time you try to bench press. We're going to get to the bottom of why it happens and, more importantly, how to fix it for good.
Does this sound familiar? You get yourself set up, you unrack the bar, you're ready for a really strong set. But instead of thinking about your lift, you're just bracing for that pinch you know is coming.
And man, this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It's so frustrating because your muscles feel strong, they feel ready to go, but your joints are just screaming stop before you can even get a decent workout in.
Now, here's the good news. For most of us, this pain isn't some deep, serious injury. It's usually just a simple and, you guessed it, a totally fixable issue with your form. So this is the big takeaway. We spend all this time worrying about our shoulder joint, but the real root of the problem? It's often not even the shoulder itself. It all comes down to where your elbows are.
So let's dig into the mechanics of why this actually happens. Because, once you really understand what's causing it, the solution becomes super, super obvious.
Okay, so there's a fancy term for this, excessive horizontal abduction. But all that really means is that your elbows are flaring way out to the sides, making a 90-degree angle with your body. It's a really common mistake, and I think people do it because they think it isolates the chest more. But what it actually does is it takes your big, powerful chest muscles out of the lift and puts all of that weight, all that stress, right onto the small, delicate structures in your shoulder joint.
So let's just put it side by side. When you flare out to 90 degrees, the force gets dumped straight into your shoulder. Your chest loses all its power. It's just a recipe for pain. But by tucking your elbows in a bit, that force stays exactly where we want it, on your chest muscles. Now you're putting tension on the muscle, which is what we want, not on the joint.
So really, our mission is simple. We have to stop asking the shoulder to do a job it was never built for. We need to shift that load back onto the pecs. That's the muscle we're trying to work in the first place. So how do we actually do that? Well, it all begins before you even unrack the bar. Let's talk about building the foundation for a strong and, most importantly, a pain-free press.
First things first, don't just flop down on the bench. You've got to lie down with intention. Create a super solid base by pulling your shoulder blades down towards your back pockets and then squeezing them together. This is going to automatically pop your chest up high. Your job is to lock that position in tight and hold it for the entire set. That's your platform.
Okay, so once that solid foundation is locked in, now we can start to focus on the movement itself, the actual pressing part. Listen, if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this number. Your elbows should be at about a 60 to 75-degree angle from your body, not flared out at 90. This one little adjustment is literally the key to keeping your chest in the game and your shoulders safe.
But a really great bench press is a full-body movement. You got to stay tight from head to toe. So brace your core, drive your feet hard into the floor to create that stability, and then grip that bar like you're trying to crush it. Lower the weight under complete control, absolutely no bouncing it off your chest, and then explode up with as much power as you can generate.
All right, let's put this all together into a simple blueprint you can take with you on your next chest day.
By focusing on this foundation and getting that elbow angle right, you can finally get past that nagging pain. You can actually stop just surviving the bench press and start building some real, honest-to-goodness strength with it.
So, I guess the final question is pretty simple. Are you ready to shift your focus? To stop just moving weight from point A to point B and to start training with intention to build real, lasting, pain-free strength?